Your latest album, Control, is out since February, and I would like to ask you guys what, in your opinion, is the best element of this album?
Ooh, wow,
that's a tricky one.
Good
question.
Undoubtedly the bass playing.
Definitely the tambourine that's in there.
Oh yeah, the tambourine, that was the best. That
was the best element, I think, is the fact that it's got very good, strong songs all through the album, and
nice theme as well.
Yeah, there's
a very interesting
theme running through the album. I think it just basically all comes together in this album for us as a band. We're very, very satisfied and happy with how it's come out.
So about the theme that you have mentioned, the concept of the album, because it's quite intriguing that the titles are something like the functions of a stereo. So could you explain the concept behind the Control album?
Yeah, well, I mean, you came up with the idea, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a concept album, because, you know, a concept album is Tommy by The Who, or, you know, Quadrophenia or something like that. But it's just a theme, you know. And really, when I was writing the lyrics, I looked at it and I thought, you know, every song here seems to be about some aspect of being able to move time or control or this side of things. So the idea just came to me literally in a flash, and I put it to the guys, and fortunately they liked it as well. So
yeah, it's great because it themes on the sort of like the situations you are in your life, and how you want to eject, you want to get away from the situation, you want to stop and, you know, take it all in. It's basically just each song is describing a certain period of your life.
What about the musical inspirations when you were writing songs to Control album? Have they varied in any way since 2006 and your debut album?
To be honest, we still
look to the same inspirations
and
influences, really. I mean,
obviously we've expanded our horizons a bit. You know, we've listened to new, more modern music. We've listened to and discovered more, you know, older bands as well. And we've you never stop learning really with the music, and we just write as we feel at that period of time.
Yeah,
you know?
I think this album we've really found our sound, really found our style. So I think for those reasons, you know, it's one of the strongest ones we've done.
What about the modern bands? Do they inspire you in any way? Because a lot of journalists write about you that you are a bridge between the music of the 60s and 70s. What about the modern music?
Wolfmother, Cooler Shaker, Rage Against the Machine.
I mean,
Black Keys.
Yeah, My Morning Jacket. You know, we draw from a lot of styles, a lot of influences, and through a lot of time periods as well. It isn't, you know, the journalists, like you say, they focus on Led Zeppelin, The Who, Hendrix, but there is more to it, you know.
What we're trying to do really, well, is like all those bands, you know, that we just mentioned. They're heavily influenced by the past, but they're bringing it in a modern way, and that's like exactly what we're trying to achieve.
Do, yeah.
You know, bring back that style of music, keep it alive, but in our own way, in a more modern, fresher way. You know, and that's what we're just gonna keep doing that.
I will refer again to what journalists write about you. They say that either you're a blues band or a rock band. Which term and which style is closer to you personally?
Well, I think the problem is that everybody likes to put bands into boxes, you know, and pigeonhole them and say, oh, well, they're that band, they're that style of band, they're that style of band. We just play the music that we love. If you want to call it blues, that's up to you. If you want to call it blues rock, if you want to call it rock,
jazz,
if you want to call it jazz funk fusion, you call it what you want.
Psychedelic skiffle.
Yeah,
psychedelic skiffle.
We don't really label it. We just play the music we love. So.
It's rock. Yeah.
We'll go back to the past and your album A Million Dead Stars, you have cooperated with Chris West as a producer by this album, quite a legendary character in the musical business. How do you remember the cooperation with that person?
Really cool, you know.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Energetic vibes in the studio.
A lot of experience, like you say. He's worked with The Who, he's worked with a lot of people, and he brought us. He educated us in the studio. We were very naive when we first went into the studio, so he gave us a great insight and helped us and developed us as a band. As did the guy with the last album, Toby Jepson, who was very famous in his own way, and he's worked with Eddie Kramer and many legendary people across the world, and he again brought a different feel, a different vibe and a different aspect to recording, and again educated us even more. Both producers have been invaluable to us. You know, they always say it's the fourth member of the band while you're in the studio, and it's so true. They've both been great guys.
I think the next question will be quite tricky for you. I would like to ask you, what is the best rock album ever in the whole history, in your opinion?
I think he can answer that one quickly.
Well, it's quite obviously, it's The Who Live at Leeds. I mean, they are the greatest band in the world.
I don't know.
Our greatest rock album, I'd maybe have to say Led Zeppelin 4. It's a really obvious one, of course, everyone says that, but it has elements of everything. You know, it has the soft melodic songs and the rock songs, and it has Stairway to Heaven on it, so of course it's the greatest album.
But it doesn't have My Generation on it.
I'm trying to think, like, so. It's very tricky. Like, as a rock album, obviously as a concept I would say probably Dark Side of the Moon, but in the sense of an actual rock album, I think, well, Zeppelin 1 for me, I really dig that album. It's raw, it's new, it's fresh. It still sounds, you put it on your record player now, it still sounds as fresh as the day it was released. So for me, I'll go with Zeppelin 1.
Do you think that nowadays rock bands have it more difficult to go to the mainstream breakthrough compared to the past, because they have their fan base, they are quite known, but still they are a bit pushed away by the main media? So what do you think about it?
With the mainstream side of it, it all boils down to money and mafia with them lot, really. It's people, they pay the money to get you on the radio stations, and that's what they do. And with rock, it's great because it's a never-ending cult. No matter what, you'll always have rock fans, and it proves, like, when you see artists, they've never had a hit in their life, modern day artists, yet they're selling out, you know, 10,000 seat arenas.
And people are still prepared to check out fresh bands like ourselves. I class us as fresh. You know, they're still, certainly in Europe, people are still prepared to check bands out and start to follow you and develop you and support you. Yeah, I mean, trying to break into the mainstream is, you know, for most bands an impossible task. But you don't have to do that to be enjoying what you do in the music world. You know, there is still a circuit out there. There is still a life to be had in the music industry.
You guys can't complain for the lack of fans, especially in Poland, because in Poland you have quite a big fan base. Do you have any contacts with the fans from Poland? And by this, do you know anything more about our country than you did before playing in the Brew?
Well, I live here now. But we have great fans in Poland. You know, from the first time we ever came out here in 2008, we developed a great fan base. You know, and we've got to thank Troika as well for really promoting us and playing our music without being forced to, which is fantastic. We even have our own fan club here, and from the minute go, they support us constantly.
They're very passionate.
Yeah,
they love. People in Poland seem to love music of all genres, and it's great. They're very enthusiastic. Like Jay said, we have a fan club here, and the people always want to talk to us. And it's kind of interesting because nowadays, with the likes of Facebook and the social media, you can interact with your fans. Your fans can ask you questions, they can talk to you, and it's easy to talk to people and learn things. So it's an interesting time, really. Yeah.
I recently went to see Perfect. I really dig that band. Perfect, Republica, Manam. You know, I really tried to, when I moved here, I really tried to study Polish culture, Polish music history, you know, because it's all behind the lyrics with Polish music back then, and I've tried to translate the lyrics, and some great bands out there, really, and like today, you know, some of the great Polish artists, Koma, brilliant band, really cool band playing today, so.
We are here at Woodstock, and what do you think about the festival? Are you looking forward to it? Do you feel any excitement before the gig?
Yeah, I mean, we had a little walk around when we got here, and it's full of crazy people, full of naked people. It's dirty, it's rock and roll, you know. The people look excited, they look ready for a show.
It's a proper festival, you know, it's a proper old school festival.
It's how it should be.
It's how it should be.
Yeah, it should be good. We're all really excited about it.